Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. In the gaming industry right now, rumors abound of one thing or another. Oftentimes, you take things with a grain of salt, especially when it comes from the internet. But oftentimes, especially as of late, a rumor comes out that is so believable, well, it just might be true. But as always, rumor control. You make your own judgment. This article from That Park Place, alleged internal Ubisoft document declares, quote, representation is part of our DNA, unlike making good games, and it, quote, firmly stands for diversity and inclusion. Just make sure you don't put out a compelling gameplay or interesting story. Alleged Ubisoft document. Of course, John. Repeat. Let's get on to the next paragraph. Are you excited for Star Wars Outlaws? Tangent number 1. This alleged document was shared to social media by YouTuber The Quartering. The document begins. First off, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the document. Let's take a look directly at it right here. First, we want to make it very clear that we do not accept hate, harassment, and other forms of abuse in any way, and are deeply saddened to see the negativity and hatred currently spreading on our co-workers' personal profiles and on our and our partners' social media platforms. Then perhaps you should get those co-workers, those personalities, those partners to maybe be quiet about their own opinions on the current state of the gaming industry, stop insulting customers, and there wouldn't be any backlash. Sure, you would get the odd troll coming out here going, I hate this game because of blah, blah, blah. But what has been happening as of late is that individuals that work for you and the like, and these consulting companies, as well as so-called games journalists and jacktivists, they're the ones that start the mudslinging, and then when there's any sort of criticism or clapback, they go into the victim mode and go, oh my god, poor pitiful me, they just attacked me. I know I just called them all kinds of sorts of names, but I called them man babies and incels and filthy misogynists and bigots, but they're attacking me now because they don't like my opinion. So maybe get your employees under control. Stop them from ruining your already sullied reputation as a developer, Ubisoft. We are proud to represent the diversity and inclusion because, heaven forbid, we should actually pay attention to good storytelling, good characters in games, but we are going to put diversity and inclusion first and foremost. We are proud to represent the diversity and inclusion that exists in society as part of our everyday work. Because, you know, that's what I want in my escapism. I want the real world put into a video game so that I can just go and play and live out the real world. Oh, goodness gracious. Make it organic and nobody cares. Make it make sense and nobody cares. That's just how it is. That's it. Make a good story and gamers will tolerate the nonsense if it's fun. Representation is part of our DNA, unlike good storytelling, and will remain that way regardless of external pressure or influences. Oh, please say that. Please. This is where the get woke, go broke comes from. That's where that term comes from. Stick to your representation, your inclusion, and your diversity. Diversity. Make that first and foremost in every single game that you developed. Representation is the most important. You got to make sure you check all those boxes. Keep doing that, Ubisoft, and you'll continue to lose money because after a while, more often than not, the gameplay suffers. The story suffers. The interesting characters suffer. And people will simply stop buying your games. It has already been shown over and over again that most people are playing video games that are 7, 8, and 9 years old. And, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but hey, since every video is someone's first, if you're a gamer and you've been gaming for longer than, a year, hell, even a year, you easily have a backlog of video games. And if you don't, trust me, you will. You'll see that game. I'm going to play this. It's only $5. I'm going to buy it right now. It's on sale, 75% off. I'm going to play that later. I have video games on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC on Steam that I bought a decade ago that I haven't touched because they were on sale, and I said eventually I'll play them. Well, keep putting out trash, garbage games, and we'll go find the indie games, and we'll go into our back catalog and play them all without having to give you any of our hard-earned money. The wallets will be shut. Just keep going, Ubisoft, down your diversity, inclusion, and equity route. Checkbox representation that doesn't make any sense in the setting that you create, and we'll just close our wallets. If you are exposed to or witness any negative behaviors towards your colleagues online, do not hesitate to reach out to your manager, Arcade HR, or the communications team, because what the fuck are they going to be able to do? Oh no, somebody called me a filthy little name online because I called them a filthy incel, and they clapped back and called me a see you next Tuesday, and I don't know what to do because I have such thin skin, and I don't know how to handle it, because words are hurtful. Words are violence. But I thought silence was violence. I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. We are here to help. Should a situation escalate to the point where you feel unsafe... Oh, if the online words that people are calling you, if you get called a bridge troll and you suddenly feel unsafe, please contact Ubisoft's security and risk management team. Is this real? If somebody picks on you online, please call Ubisoft security. Now, to be fair, if someone happens to dox you, that person is a foul, putrid piece of shit. Don't dox these people. Don't attack these people. Don't get personal with them. Sure, make fun of them, their opinions, the way they dress, and all that nifty stuff. Don't go after these morons, because it will serve no purpose but to prove them right. They are nonsensical, paint chip eating, room temperature IQ individuals who, as I've said many times, they wake up every day looking for a reason, looking for some sort of way to justify their feeble, minuscule, meaningless existence. Sure, it's what we all strive to do, but the way they go about doing it is getting on social media and picking a fight, because that's the only way they know how to put meaning into their lives, instead of going out and, I don't know, actually creating something. The only thing they create is strife and anguish, mostly to themselves. SRM has a team of dedicated staff to manage security concerns. They will assess the severity of the situation and provide personalized guidance. As always, report immediate and severe personal safety concerns to your local emergency number. Call 911! Hello, this is 911. Yes, somebody was picking on me on social media. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, ma'am. This is an emergency. This is 911. Yes, it's an emergency. My feelings were hurt. Oh, my goodness gracious me. Given the current polarization of this topic online, we believe that having a respectful and constructive dialogue is difficult, if not impossible, to achieve, especially when you're slinging insults and blocking people. It's not impossible to have constructive dialogue. But responding with, well, fuck you, is not constructive dialogue. If someone comes at you with actual criticism towards the main protagonist of your video game, the story, the gameplay, and accusing you of, I don't know, predatory microtransactions, followed by throttling of game progression, so you have to, or it's more appealing to pick up those nifty little XP boosters, and they criticize your company for that, that is definitely a good time to have in some sort of constructive dialogue. It's not difficult. It's only difficult or impossible if you are a child and can't handle any sort of criticism, or unless, of course, you have an agenda and you simply choose to ignore and sit in your little echo chamber and ignore everyone. In this context, we ask you not to engage or interact with these conversations, because heaven forbid any sort of constructive dialogue would be beneficial to the development process, as this could worsen the situation for yourself, our teams, and our industry peers. Oh, don't worry about that. Your team, yourself, and your industry peers are doing a fantastic job, all by themselves, in ruining their already useless reputations. You can also set your accounts to private and or turn off private messages from people who are not in your list of trusted friends. Shut them out, and you can't hear the criticism. And if you can't hear the criticism, it must not be there. Yay, pat each other on the back. You're doing a wonderful job. You're a success because you have blinded yourself to any and all criticism. Do this across all your social accounts, even if you are only receiving unwelcome messages on certain platforms. Ubisoft firmly stands for diversity and inclusion because we do not care about actual fun, entertaining gameplay and interesting stories in our workplace. Oh, inclusion in our workplace and our games. And we believe there is no room for hate in gaming. We will continue. What else does it say? External pressures or influence. Do this across all social media platforms. Does it continue? Oh. We believe there is no room for hate in gaming. Oh, of course not. We already know that. It's unclear what these documents are in response to, as Ubisoft has embroiled themselves in numerous controversies. Ooh, what we got? Back at the end of January, the company's director of subscriptions, oh, Lord have mercy, this genius. I didn't do a video. I think I did. Did I do a video on this? Did I talk about it? I think I did. The idea, going back to Netflix and the idea that it's all digital. People, you don't own your videos. You don't own your video games because you're on streaming. You stream your video games. You buy the digital downloads. Who needs a physical copy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I used to feel the same way, but now there's a select few. I'm actually working towards getting physical copies of the things that I enjoy the most. This jackwad. One of the things we saw is that gamers are used to, a little bit like DVD, having and owning their games. Yes, gamers, there's a lot of gamers out there that are perfectly fine with the streaming, with the digital downloads and everything, and there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, fewer and farther between as we go along. I don't know, that might change. That might change. The more you change shit, how you doing, Lara Croft, the Tomb Raider fans out there? How are y'all feeling? What else are they going to change about your beloved franchise with the simple patch of a button? That's it. One simple little patch that they push through to your console and your game is changed. Oh well. Game that you already paid for. They got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's not true. I still have a shelf and boxes full of CDs and DVDs. I mostly listen to YouTube. But again, that's me. It's not everybody. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen in games. As gamers grow comfortable in that aspect, you don't lose your progress. Even if you resume your game at another time, blah, 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 blah. It's not deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable. It's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game. That caused a lot of uproar. A lot of people got a little upset about it. Now, you have people on both sides of the fence. If you've been on Steam for longer than a minute, you don't own a physical copy of your game. They can change it at any time. You understand that. And that's the thing. That's the main thing. There's an understanding. If you buy a physical copy, you expect it not to change. If you buy a digital copy, you might want to keep that in mind. He goes on and on. One of the things he mentioned, so you pay when you need it, as opposed to paying... Whoa, what is this? I still have 2 boxes of DVDs. I definitely understand the gamer's perspective with that, but as people embrace that model, they will see that games will exist until they don't. The service will continue. This is a great quote right here. The service will continue until they decide to shut it down without telling you, and you'll be able to access them when you feel like it. Really? Is that so? So, anybody actually watching this video and made it this far, thank you very much, by the way. The Crew. How's that going for you? Bald-faced lie. As the company completely shut down The Crew. It was announced back in December. Today, The Crew 1, including all its editions and virtual currency pack, will be delisted from all offline stores. It's almost like, let's see, playable until March 3rd. Oh. Okay. Well, it's done. March 31st. This recording, April 23rd. So for all those people who spent money on The Crew, invested all that time, guess what? You just don't get to play the game anymore. Too bad. So sad. Welcome to the digital world of gaming. Oh my goodness. But that's Ubisoft for you. Do you trust this company to make your game? Do you believe that? Do you think this little note right here sent out to the employees is just an alleged Note, just a rumor. It can't possibly be true. But oh well. If they do one shady thing, there's no telling what else they would be willing and able to do. Huh. Representation is part of our DNA. Keep on going down the representation route, foregoing any sort of story and gameplay, and you'll find out what happens. People will walk away. The gamers will shut their wallets and move on to something far more entertaining for far less price. But let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging you to do, and I hope to see ya on the next one. Bye-bye.